All right, Coach. Just getting towards the tail end of spring camp. How's it going for you in the corners?
Well, so far so good. Like I say, no injuries or whatnot. So, the guys are learning, trying to get better. So far so good.
Got big shoes to fill with two starters moving on. How's that going? Trying to
Well,
replace them.
like I said, we got a lot of talent, and it's just a matter of getting them to play and everything. And, we had AZ and Jakari last year, and that was a lot of experience. But right now, Keontre Harris is doing a great job for us. Sammy Hunter, Joe Briggs, they're all stepping up. And they all know there's some big shoes they got to fill, so they're up for the challenge.
You brought over two nickelbacks into your room, and you've got two newcomers as well. What's it been like getting everyone into the fold here?
It's just a matter of getting them reps. Out here we're getting a ton of reps, so it's just a matter of just getting them out on the field, let them experience it. You can sit there in a meeting and you can talk about it, but until they get on the field and experience, they're not going to grow. So most of the growth is going to happen out here on the field.
Talk about the competition that's being created from this group, knowing there's a lot of opportunity here coming into the season.
Well, that's the key right there, and that's what motivates them to get better, because there is a ton of competition. And right now, you say Keontre Harris, he's a Valley kid out of Lee Moore. He's doing a great job for us, and he's kind of taking the edge right now on one of those. And Joe Briggs, got to keep him healthy. Last year he had that hip injury and whatnot. He got some significant stat for last year. So he's doing a great job. Loyal, who's on, he's stepped it up. So I'm pleased with the progress. It's just like I say, we still got 29 more practices for the first game, so we'll figure it out then.
What are the traits you look for in guys you can trust to put out there on the field for the corner position?
Well, one, you always love speed. Have speed, we'll travel, right? But speed, got to have some type of intelligence, and they got to be willing to hit, be tough, tough players. And as you groom them and progress them, then you start seeing the true mental side of them, because not every practice is going to be good for them. If they have a bad practice or something like that, how are they going to bounce back? If they have a bad play, how are they going to bounce back? So, that's what I'm really looking for, just the emotional growth there.
You see some of the guys that come into this group in the competition, you get this 11-on-11 practice, right? And with the veteran wide receiver group, what does that bring to what these guys are providing in those kind of competitions?
Well, nothing's ever easy. So, you got Josiah Freeman out there running some great routes, and, you got Truly Bell, a true freshman out there trying to cover him. It's tough sledding, but, it's all experience. I'd rather have it happen here than in the game. So, the guys are growing.
Yeah.
Draft coming up this weekend. Can you just talk about maybe what AZ could bring to a potential new team?
Well, one, AZ's a really smart player. Football smart. When he was a freshman here, he played the nickel. And then we moved him in, and he started playing a little bit of safety for about a week and a half, and then we moved him about the corner. But, he's an intelligent player. He understands concepts. He can play physical at times, and so, he'd be a great fit for any team, because, he can play multiple positions.
There's been a lot of players out of your group that have made it on to the next level. Does that give you any confidence when you're coaching these next guys?
Well, it gives the young guys confidence, because, hey, they can see somebody ahead of them who's already done it. So, we just got to keep developing them.
Given the two seniors that left, it seems like there could have been a situation where you might have brought in more transfers, but perhaps the confidence in the younger guys overseeded that, or what did you see from those younger players before this spring that maybe led you to go that route?
It'll be hard to bring in a transfer that you're going to put on top of these guys, because one, they're ultra competitive, and you're not going to find guys that kind of run like these guys. And so, let them grow up in the system. And, with the days of all this NIL and all this stuff, hey, we got to develop our players here. So that's what we're doing.
What has Keontre done specifically to catch your eye?
Just about everything. I think today was probably the first day in camp they caught a ball on him. So, he's doing some really good stuff for us. So as long as he continues to mature, we'll have something special.
You mentioned Joe battling those injuries. What did you see from him when you got him on the field last year?
Joe's explosive. He's probably the most explosive person we have on the team, but it's a matter of just staying healthy. And, as long as he can stay healthy, we'll have something special. And, so just kind of slow him down, and, it's spring ball right now. We need him in the fall.